Sí, yeah.
Sí, yeah.
Así es.
Ese es un clásico de... A classic one, man. That's from Victor Montañez.
Yes, yes.
He was one of the I think one of the original members of La Casita back when it formed, I think like in the 70s, right?
Right.
And he did a recording with Rene Lopez,
Okay.
right? That they did, I think it's called the album. It was something with Roberta Singer. You remember
Roberta Singer? Yeah.
Rene Lopez. They
That's
did
Robbie's
this-
father, right?
Robbie's father,
okay.
yeah. Try to get a little closer to the mic there. Yeah. So, I'm actually trying to get him on the podcast, Rene Lopez.
Nice,
He's
nice.
like a legend, man, in the Latin music scene, right?
Oh, yeah,
Historian too.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did this album. It was like a compilation album, like different genres. And Victor Montañez did a Bomba, Sica on there. Which is that one. Sigue, golpe, calinda, sigue. And Marcia Reyes is playing the gua.
Right.
And Coco Lai is playing the primo on a pandereta in that recording. So
Wow.
it's a really dope recording, man, because
you don't see that no more.
you don't see that. And then Victor Montañez, the way his vocalizing style was with the bomba, like he would be like, ay, golpe timangüe, golpe calinda. And I've tried throughout the years to to mimic
that,
especially for that song, because it just, he carries like this whole melody over it, while the coro's going, and it's beautiful,
Yeah, it is.
And he's the one playing, the buleador on there, and it's just really nice,
I think it was Roberto or Tito Cepeda that got me to listen to that song for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
And I was like, oh man.
Yeah. It's a really dope tune. Yeah. It's on my YouTube channel, so people that are watching this definitely should go check it out. But Louie, I'm really honored to have you on this program.
It's my honor, man.
Yeah, you one of the OGs out there, and I remember meeting you almost 20 years ago, man.
That's
I
right.
met you.
Yep.
I met you in the rehearsal space out in Jersey City with Segunda Quimbamba, Juan Cartagena, and all them.
Yeah, man.
Tito Cepeda was there, remember?
Yeah, they
and
used to have
Miriam.
the practices, the ensayo up there.
Yeah, because they were getting ready for the Bon Plenazo 2006.
Right.
At
that time, I think I was with Alma Moya at that time.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was like when I met you, man, and you were super cool, man, from the get-go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I always try to be chill with everybody. I'm always community-minded, man.
Right. But Louie, so, my understanding is, man, you ain't an original Jersey Rican, right?
Nah. I'm a Nuyorican.
You're a Nuyorican, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Brooklyn.
Born
man.
and raised. Wow. So you came from a real rough area, right?
Yeah. So I was born in Bed-Stuy.
Oh, in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, Kings County Hospital, for all of y'all that know.
Right.
And then around the age of 10, our house got burnt. And so they gave us the projects, so we moved to Brownsville.
Yeah.
So we moved to Brownsville in the 70s.
Oh, in the 70s.
Yeah,
Okay.
when it was like the ghetto.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really. So in the 70s, you was in Brownsville. And how was it growing up in that area? It was just really like tough, like really, like a lot of, what was the environment like for you in Brownsville?
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was a struggle.
Right.
but it was very community at the same time. You know,
Okay.
people that don't have much,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, you're always on survival mode.
Yeah.
You knew your neighbor,
Right.
because sometimes, hey, tú tienes azúcar, you got aceite. Oh, listen, I saw your son, I saw your daughter, blah, blah, blah. You know, we look out for each other.
Yeah.
Now, that was the cool part of the community.
Right.
Then había el otro part. The drug scenes and everything.
Yeah.
The gang banging and all of that stuff. So at that time, the era when I was growing up, you had the Tomahawks, the Unknown Riders, the Young Barons, the Ghetto Brothers. And
Oh, they had Ghetto Brothers out there?
in East New York.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought that was only like in the Bronx.
Yeah,
thing.
my brother was a Ghetto Brother, man.
Really?
Yeah, so I really didn't like the gangbangers, you know. I thought they were just plain knuckleheads. We were like more cool, you know, suave, hang out, smoke out weed, you know, and go to sets, party and everything. Y'all want to fight, y'all going to do that shit, you know.
Oh, okay.
So, and also I became a martial artist around that time.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So I was introduced to jiu-jitsu like around 10 years old. And then from there, jiu-jitsu, judo, and then karate Shotokan, you know.
Yeah.
And then because it was tough being my color in Brownsville, man.
Oh, so you would take a lot of heat
from everybody, you know, because they underestimate you, you know. So
okay.
I took up
more for like even from the Boricuas too, or like just how.
For just in general, everybody.
Just in general,
my
everybody.
nickname, well, when I was a kid, it was Casper, you know.
Casper.
The friendly ghost. It's not because I was friendly, because I was white as a ghost, right? And then it went from that, from Casper to White Boy Louie.
White Boy Louie?
Yeah,
Oh,
over there in Brownsville.
Yeah,
so, you know, but I had to learn that, bro.
Yeah.
Became pretty good with my hands and
Right,
shit. You know?
Right.
So,
but you encountered some pretty violent like situations, right, in Brownsville.
Oh yeah, forget it, man. Shootouts, been shot at. My little brother at 13 was shot. You know, what else? And the heroin scene that came too. I wound up getting stabbed and stuff like that. You know.
Wow.
And then it was time, like when my son was born, I was like, and my daughter. Like, you know, do I want them to go through this? You know, it's time to go. You know?
That was a really rough era, man. The 70s, man. 70s and 80s for a lot of Puerto Ricans. You know, I'm from Cleveland, right? Ohio, born and raised. And, you know, a lot of my family, man, went through a really rough period, man. It was the era of the war on drugs, you know, and a lot of these communities, poor communities, man, coming from like the Campos of Puerto Rico, a lot of them, right? When they first migrated, my family came in the 70s. You know, and they went to Cleveland, and it was a time where, like, it was just rough, man. You know, a lot of people were just getting caught up, you know, in the drugs.
You just got to remember a lot of factories were moving, manufacturing was moving out in the 70s, you know. So there was hardly no work. I remember living in New York. New York was about to go bankrupt, you know. It was crazy time, man, you know. People, I remember my mother always had a factory, a nice, great factory job. They closed down, they moved out. My father had a bodega in Tompkins Avenue, in Best Dive. But he lost it from gambling and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, it was a struggle, man.
Wow. And then, was it you that told me that you had like a relative that used to run with Mike Tyson? Or something like that.
My brother, yeah.
Your brother?
Yeah.
He used to run with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he snatched chains with Mike Tyson. Man.
What?
Yeah, a couple of times.
That's crazy, man.
And then my other boy from the Cephalo Projects,
Yeah.
he got stuck up by Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
And so Mike Tyson was like, I would say like last year or something, was going back to Mike Tyson always come back to Brownsville.
Yeah.
So Frankie, and my boy's name Frank,
Yeah.
he bumped into Mike Tyson. He said, "Yo, Mike, you remember me? Yo, you stuck me up." And Mike Tyson started cracking up, like, "What? Look at this guy. He's telling me."
Oh, is that video online?
Yeah, it's
I saw
online.
that video. Yeah. You know that dude?
Yeah, Frankie, man, we grew up together, man.
Oh shit, man.
So
that's crazy.
the only time I saw Mike Tyson, like when he won the fights, he would roll down Pinkin Avenue on top of, what you call it, on top of the truck.
Right.
The cars, the sunroof, put it back. You sit there, like he'd be up there like this.
Really?
And then he would stop at the liquor stores I wasn't lucky to experience that, but all my boys, yo, Mike was here, just gave us all $50 and shit like that. That's why everybody loved Mike, man. Nothing happens to him when he comes back to Brownsville.
Really?
Other fighters, man, I think who it was, he came to Brownsville, he got stuck up.
Really?
They took his bling, and I think he had, somebody told me he had like $10,000, he got stuck up.
Yeah, no, Mike is, and then he was on a podcast, right? I saw online a clip, and they were like, Mike, if you wasn't a boxer, what other career would you have gotten into? He was like, I just would have been a criminal.
Yeah, that's true, man.
He was like, because I like to fight. That's what he said.
But I got to tell you one thing, man, and he even said this too.
Yeah.
One of his best fights was with Puerto Rican.
Really?
Yeah, and also he never used to come to the projects.
Really?
Yeah, it was always, not too many people come to the projects. If he wasn't from the projects, he wouldn't come in. So he would be more out there. Then he had his pigeon coop on Sutter Avenue, and I think Saratoga.
Right.
I used to fly birds too.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, back in the 70s. I was like 15 years old.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
We would tap each other's coop and everything. Yeah, man.
That's wild, man. Brownsville, you know, what's funny is that, or crazy is that, the original, my wife's grandfather's club was originally in Brownsville, Pitkin Ave. Casa Borinquen was originally there.
Yeah.
It opened up like in the early 60s. And then but it got so bad, like people's cars were getting broken into and shit like that. And then eventually, I think like in 76, they had to move it over to Wyckoff and Myrtle. Over there in Bushwick.
I went there, man, a couple of times, man.
So, man, wow, that's crazy, man. So you got this whole life, right? Whole history that's in New York, right? But then, before we get to the Jersey part, because I wanted to ask you, right? It's been a big debate going on online with where people saying that the Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
What's your personal opinion about that? I mean, did you see hip hop during that era, like developing, like the breakdancing and all that stuff? Well,
back in the 70s, you know, we used to have the block parties, the DJ, and a lot of, us, we was intertwined with each other. And you know what the funny thing is? Before hip hop came in, a lot of the brothers spoke Spanish. They danced salsa. You know, all of that. So we were integrated, man. That's so when hip hop came, it was an integration. Of course, a lot of the MCs were mainly black, right? But the DJs and the breakdancing, we contribute a lot to the to hip hop.
And this is from a Brooklyn perspective.
Yeah,
right? You're not from the Bronx.
No, a lot of that,
right?
We were like the saying, Bronx created, Brooklyn takes it. But anyway, we always had that thing, we didn't go to Bronx didn't come to Brooklyn, that kind of stuff. But we met in the middle in Manhattan, in the city.
Really?
In the clubs,
And what type of clubs, do you remember like any of the clubs you used to go to or back in this? Yeah,
when I was like around 14, there was like, now, this was before hip hop, right?
Right.
How you call it? Salsa was coming out. Then more of the disco genre started coming in. Yeah. But it was underground, man. We used to go in Manhattan to the Contiki and the Fresh, and then in Brooklyn, I think Myrtle Avenue or Broadway, was the Garden. That was a big one. Okay. And at that time, before Up Rock come, there was a dance called Rockin'. And it has some moves like, up rocking, but that's more breaking, that's more hip hop. Right. But that was that genre at that time. And then after that, then hip hop, came up.
So it went from like rocking to the up rock.
Yeah, and breaking.
And then breaking. Breaking is when you go down to the floor, right?
Yeah. And then up rock was more battling, pa arriba,
Oh, okay. And so were you involved in that at that time or no? Or
no, ya yo me casé because how you call it? I tried to get into the army to get out of the ghetto.
Okay.
I couldn't do it because I was, asthmatic.
Okay.
So I said, man, the best next deal is that I gotta find me a good woman, man. But a nice, quiet woman, but strong, but not one like crazy like me at that time.
Right.
And so Betty used to live right downstairs on the second floor. They were known as Los Indios.
Really?
Yeah, there were 16 of them. And I used to hang out with the brother and
because
everything.
of Betty's like complexion and stuff like that, so they were known as Los
Indios. Yeah,
they all looked.
They all look like Indian. The brothers and her father didn't have too much facial hair. I mean, her father looked like Geronimo. Stuff
really?
like
Really?
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and they all short, just like Tainos. Copper tone. Copper color and straight black hair. Yeah, man.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. What part of PR do you know her family's from, or?
How you call it? Man, I forgot something for that. I meant it. Where's Manabo?
Maunabo, Yabucoa.
Around that area.
Naguabo.
Patilla. Yeah, the mother from Patilla and the father is from, I think, where Alex Lasalle's family is from. Moca, yeah, because he mentioned that, So West Coast,
Yeah.
And también, in next to the ocean,
Right. Yeah, Michelle's her grandfather's side is from Patillas.
Oh,
her
okay.
maternal grandfather's side is from a barrio called Los Pollos.
Oh, okay.
In Patillas. There's an interesting history there with Bomba too, because there was also a community of Congos in Patillas.
Yeah.
And Michelle, actually, I got to look for it because there was a little pamphlet, like a little history book on Patillas that was passed down to Michelle from her grandfather.
Right.
And there was a local historian from Patillas, where he talks about that community.
Oh, wow.
Of Congos that were there.
Just like the 1800s, 1900s?
Yeah, 1800s, yeah. Probably like mid to late 1800s, they were known. Like they had that, they all knew that they had that lineage, that they were actually Congo, and they had a community there. I know Melanie has done work with the community there as well, with the Bomba research.
Yeah.
Years ago, when I used to do research in the census records, like genealogy and stuff, I remember there was a part called, I think it's called Apeadoro, I think it's like Apeadoro, something like that is the name of the barrio in Patillas. And there was a guy named Luis Congo.
Ah.
Yeah, that was his last name, Congo. But then all the children that he had, they changed that last name. Ah. Probably because of the prejudice,
stigma,
But at one point there were people in Puerto Rico that had African last names. And another one that comes to mind that shows up in the early census records is Kanga. Kanga was also a last name, African origin. I think it is related to the Mende people of like Sierra Leone,
that
Liberia, and that region, called Mende or Mande.
Yeah.
Because in Puerto Rico, there's a lot of those people that came, and they used to also have a tradition called Cuento Mende. Which they would go and they would tell stories, right? Yeah. And they would mix it with some of the African words, particular to that tribe, to the Mende people, and they would mix it in
Oral
Spanish.
history to me is like one of the best, man.
Yeah. Which I actually got an example of that also on my page of a Cuento Mende. Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's dope, man, that you do all that deep dive, in that history. Because, what you call it? Because you got to look at, there were 3 major ports in Puerto Rico, right?
Right.
San Juan, Ponce, and Mayagüez.
Yeah. Also, Arroyo took in a lot of slaves, too.
Right.
Man.
So, where there's the ports, that's where the majority of the Africans were at.
Yeah. And then they spread them out,
Yeah.
And some of them ended up in the interior, too,
Yeah, where the plantations,
Yeah, man. Because it was coffee
La finca,
yeah. You got sugar on the coast, but then you also had coffee plantations with more in the interior. You also had slaves there. Right. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff, man. But then your family's from Mayagüez, right?
Yeah.
Both of your parents?
Yeah. I just opened my the family Bible, and I just looked at the back page.
Yeah.
And it was like Mayagüez, and Cabo Rojo. My grandparents and great-grandparents.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, man.
Yeah. That's dope, man.
Yeah, it's good to know your lineage.
Your roots. Yeah.
It gives you foundation,
Right.
Of self.
Yeah.
Because we come in here, and you get forced to assimilate, and you sort of like lose your traditions and your norms that you grow up with.
What's interesting, man, is that growing up for me, right, I always consider myself Puerto Rican, right? Mm-hmm. Not American.
Yeah.
Right? weird. It's weird, right? Because technically we're American, right? You know. But I remember the first time I took a trip. I think I was like in my early 20s. Me and my boy went to Toronto, Canada, and we rented a car, and we were like on the highway, and this car pulled up next to us. It was like a bunch of white boys, right? Canadians though. Right, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are American." Yo, that blew me back, man. To have a white person calling me American, because to us, you know, like, especially like your parents, they come here, it's Americano. Americano is automatically a white person. That's just the way we grew up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not even black, because
like
black is moreno, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, but when you say Americano, you say specifically a white person, right? So for having white people call me American, and they were like laughing, like, you American. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, that just took me.
Really?
It just, messed my head up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, shit, I'm American.
You know what it is? Not only that, because our parents, you know, like, lo americano, aquello, and this, is that we never felt fully American. I always felt second class, you know? I never felt, even they say you assimilate, you speak the language, and you into pop culture, American culture, but you're still not fully 100% accepted for who you are and what you bring to the table, you know?
Right.
So that's how I always had that mentality, you know, Boricua first,
but it's not that we're anti-American,
no.
right? Is that the experience, one, we never want to lose our culture, right? Mm-hmm. Puerto Ricans, even though we've been American colonies since 1898, Puerto Ricans in general always have been very proud to be who we are, right? Because everybody should be proud of where they come from and their identity. But then also the experience that we run into in this country it was rough, man. Yeah. I mean, I went through a lot of racism, you know, police brutality, you know, all that shit. I seen it in my very own. I experienced it in the living flesh, you know, and it's traumatizing.
Yeah, you know? And not only that, you come from a community that's underserved, and you know the resources are not there. Right. You know, so you know you look at TV like, wow, look at all those beautiful houses, look at all that. Right. And you know, where we at? You know. Right. Don't feel like integrated right there, seeing that. Yeah. You know.
But I have a question, a little personal. But like in that era, in the 70s, 80s, like. What was your relationship with the drugs back then? Like, did you experiment, or did you you know, I want to know, because I have personal, you know, a lot of deep personal experiences when it comes to drugs in my family. So I wanted to ask you, like how did you navigate that world back then? Yeah. You know.
Well, to tell you the truth, and I don't mind talking about it, because you know what. Right. If I could help somebody else, you know, like, definitely. Wow, that brother made it, I can make it too, you know, that kind of thing, you know. Right. Nah, you know, I didn't navigate it. I got sucked in it.
You got sucked right in.
Oh boy, forget it. Yeah. At 14, 15, I already was copping weed by the pound. Right. You know, I would go to the Bronx. Really? And cop for my boy. And I remember La Abuelita with the shopping cart bringing down the 2-3 pounds, you know. They were like in the brick, you know. Yeah. And then from that came the heroin, you know. So it was a slow process. By 16, I already was hooked on heroin, you know, stuff like that. And was selling it too, but I was never no big deal or nothing like that, you know.
This was like late 70s?
No, early 70s.
Early 70s with the heroin, right? Yeah. Heroin hit really hard, right?
Yeah, bro. Everybody used to do heroin the way people do weed now, because it was so cheap. The bags were $3, and it was heroin, you know. And you know, like I remember.
But some people. So yeah, and with heroin, you have people that snorted it.
Yeah.
And then you have people that use the needle.
Yeah.
Because that's my father. He used to snort it. Yeah. And they were like they didn't consider themselves tecato because they didn't use the needle. Right. So to them, the people that use the needle were like, you know, beneath them, right?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know, the truth is the truth, man. I banged. You know, I started at 16. But when I made that decision that I had enough of the streets and everything, I stopped at 19. and I got on the methadone program. So when I stopped, luckily I stopped right on time. Because that's when AIDS started coming.
Oh. So you got out just in time.
Right on time, yeah. So I didn't get afflicted with none of that, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I seen like a lot of heads, a lot of my people, man, die of AIDS quick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's terrible, man. But
It was
yeah,
a
my
dark
family,
time.
it was a really dark time, man. My family were, there was a lot of people that got afflicted, you know, with the heroin, Benicio as well.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like a tsunami, bro, that just came and it just swept, you know, these communities.
So now we're talking about AIDS. So there's this movie, Brownsville, right, with Elaine. So I went to see the movie and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is about my neighborhood. Oh, wait a minute. She's talking, I know her. So this young lady that grew up in my building, and the father, we got high together and everything, but I had stopped. He kept going, and he died of AIDS in Puerto Rico. And, you know, after the movie, they have a Q&A, and I asked, now I know what happened to your father, because we said, hey, we don't see Manny no more, you know? And what happened was, I guess he broke up with his wife, and he came down with AIDS, and he moved to Puerto Rico, and he died out there.
Wow.
But luckily that Elaine rebuilt her relationship with her father before he passed. Wow. So it was nice, you know, seeing that, like, wow, man.
That's crazy. So you end up finding what happened to your boy.
Yeah, through a movie.
Through a movie that just came out. Right,
and having somebody that came from that element, man, make it out of there. Like I did, you know? I did, you know?
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, man. So you go through all these experiences. When is it that you basically decide to move over to New Jersey to jump over the river, man?
Bro, you know, one thing I'm glad I never got caught up with that crack shit, you know?
Crack,
Yeah, that was whack, man. I saw people, the fabric of the community. Heroin was one thing, right? Afflicted mostly the men. There were women, but not as much. But crack came, it afflicted everybody. You know, if you go, back in the 70s, you go to prison or whatever, the woman holds it down. 80s came, both are hooked, you know? And nothing, so the whole fabric of the community was falling apart. And I was looking at all this.
Yeah, because the women were always the backbone for a long time.
They hold it down.
A lot of the men got caught up, the women still held it down.
Yeah.
But then in the 80s, both the men and the women get hooked, and then a lot of kids end up getting raised by their grandparents.
Exactly.
In that era, man. So it's like a lost generation. I honestly don't think that we still have recovered from the damage that crack caused in a lot of these communities, man. We still
traumatized about it, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember heroin was a slow transition, but I saw people get hooked on crack. Like in 6 months, they was like, yo, bro, what happened to you, man? You know, they look like zombies and shit. So lucky I didn't do none of that. I got on the methadone program and maintenance for a while.
Yeah.
And then when it was time, I lost a daughter, wound up getting stabbed and shit.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, usually a man don't change unless there's a crisis, you know?
Right.
So you could start making, start taking a look at your life, you know?
Yeah.
You say to yourself, man, what it's all about, I'm losing this, you know? You life has a way to humble your ass and to take a look at the mirror at yourself, you know? And so I was like, it's time to go. So I went to a rehab. I was in there for about a year.
Yeah.
It wasn't a rehab, it was a TC, man.
Yeah.
And I came out, my mother said, no te quedes, vete. And she was right. So for the first time, I said, let me listen to this woman, man.
Wow.
So I left to New Jersey, got a job out here, got a studio, and then I brought the family over after that.
Really?
Yeah, came out, because I was really tired. I was done. I was like 31, 32, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like...
So this was like early 80s?
No, late 80s. It was
late
80, 89 that I went in. I came out in 1990. And then by 91, I brought my family over.
To New Jersey.
Yeah, and that was it. Then I worked in a warehouse. I used to work sometimes construction in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing too, man. So part of the gangs, after the gang thing, kind of slowed down a little bit, they became activists. And bro, we all joined forces, and we used to go to construction sites where they're working on. They say, "Yo, you gotta hire people from the neighborhood. If not, we're gonna stop this job down." And we did, man. They hired a couple of us and everything. Wow, that's how I started learning construction. They hired me and a couple other guys. So we took street knowledge and we say, "Yo, we're gonna turn this and really make it community," because we always we protecting the block, we ain't protecting shit, we just acting all crazy. Right. So, but so I got my activism from that, and so anyway, I moved the family over, started working in the warehouse, and it doesn't matter sometimes your background, whether you're black, Puerto Rican, whatever. Sometimes your educational background, if you don't know much, they talk down to you. I'm like, fuck this shit, I ain't gonna come in here. Plus, I never liked it working, and I'm not used to people talking down to me. So when you have a foreman, a white guy talking to you like you shit, I'm like, fuck this. You know what? Let me go to college. I didn't know if I had it in me or not, but I did it. I took that exam, got my GED. I said, oh shit, I'm not that stupid at all. And I said, I ain't stopping here. Went into community college, then 4-year college, and boom, man. Changed my life, man.
And you was in Jersey City at the time, or?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
When I started going to college,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got my GED, was it in Brooklyn? Or I think it was, because I went to rehabs twice. So in the rehab, they give you GED, shit like that. At that time, I was, probated there by the courts. It's either that or go to jail. So I took, because I had a drug habit. So I went in there, I got my GED, and then from there, I already had it. So when I came to New Jersey, I said, let me take the test for the community college. And I got in, I got accepted.
Wow.
But it was a hard process, man. Because I haven't been to school for a long time. I had to do remedial but I had the desire in me, and plus I had like this anger in me, as a young man, against society. So I used it, to motivate me to like, no matter what, because I had also suffered from what they call imposter syndrome. Man, I don't know if I belong here. I'm from the projects. I had that I don't know, ¿cómo se dice? Un complejo, un complejo by yourself. I don't belong here, I don't deserve, I'm from the hood and then blah, blah, blah. Talk yourself out of it. Then I remember what my mother said one time. Bro, si tú tienes los cojones para hacer lo malo, ¿por qué tú no tienes los cojones para hacerlo bien? Bro, I stood in my head. Wow. And I stuck it out, man, no matter how insecure I felt, in college. But then I took up sociology. What do you talk about sociology? Why certain groups do this and this, and you study a lot about
human behavior.
Human behavior, and why groups do this, and what are the causes and effects, right? And mostly it's about rural area and urban areas, right? Man, when I had to get up there to speak about this, I had to do an essay or I had to do a class, not a lecture, but a speech or whatever. It was always something. It had to be about guns, poverty, public housing. I'm like, shit, I know all of this, man. So what I learned from the books and then my experience that I had in life, I brought it together. Man, this is where my self-esteem started coming up, because I started speaking, and the professor said, you used to have people there speaking, and when I got up there, the professor, you grabbed the whole class. Wow. You speak from the heart, and you know what you're talking about. And it's one thing I learned from the street, bro. If you're gonna say something, you're gonna talk about something that you know. Don't invente cosas. I always had that in me. So then I started developing my confidence, and I'm like, fuck this, I got this shit, man. Yeah.
Damn. That's cool, man. But when did you first get encounter like the Bomba en Plena, man? Like when was like your first time that you seen it and all that?
So before that, before the Bomba, so back in the 70s, going back to Elaine's father, he was a percussionist. He was one of those. He was from Puerto Rico. He wasn't a Nuyorican. But he hung out with us.
Yeah.
And that time, the Fania was going on.
Yeah.
You know, salsa was big.
Right.
So I bought a conga for $35. He was teaching me a little bit of timbales. I was more of a martial artist at that time.
Right.
So and then the drugs came. That was gone.
Okay.
So that was, but I had that because the guys, they used to do rumba in front of the projects across the street in the park and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and smoke weed and jam all night.
Right.
We used to see that every weekend.
Right.
You don't see it no more.
Yeah.
But anyway, so her father introduced me into percussion, even though I did it for a little bit.
Right.
So now I'm in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And who's living underneath me? Un viejito with congas. Right? He was from the Bronx, but living in Union City, right? And man, I always wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And then he said, cómprate una conga, yo te enseño. So he didn't think I was going, I bought 2 congas, man. And man, he started teaching me a little bit. I was like, oh shit.
So that's what got you.
Yeah.
Got you in.
But I was one of those Puerto Ricans that knew about my music, salsa. I knew about my food. But that's about it.
Yeah.
I fly my flag, Boricua hasta la muerte, but I didn't know my history.
Right.
So now I'm playing with the viejito. He's telling me a little about the rhythms and where it comes from, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm playing for this brother that's a recovering addict, right, in his house. I got my congas there. Estamos inventando. I really wasn't know, but we're playing with the records. Who comes in? Juan Cartagena.
Oh.
Yeah, so we and Juan Cartagena is related to the brother. And he said,
okay.
Yeah,
This is in the 90s, right?
Yeah. And then he goes and he tells me, I think 95 or 6, something like that.
Yeah.
Then he told me, you ever play Bomba? And I said, what? Bomba? What's that? He said, Bomba, that's, African influenced music from Puerto Rico and plena, more. I said, no, man, never. So he took me in, man. So Juan Cartagena was the first one that taught me about Bomba and everything. Then I joined Segunda Quimbamba. Man.
So you were there in the 90s.
Yeah,
with them, with Segunda Quimbamba.
Yeah.
And that's an institution in Jersey City for a long time, man.
And let me tell you, I never played drums except for as a teenager in Brooklyn for a little bit.
Right.
But never played. I started really learning about Bomba and everything at my 40s. Because, I've been caught up getting, like fixing my life up and all of that stuff, So I've been going to college.
Yeah.
I ran an organization. I founded, PLA, grassroots organization. We did gang intervention, and we also did substance abuse intervention, and education. We did a lot of that stuff.
Right.
I worked a lot with the Kings, the Nietas, matter of fact, the God Bodies también, and the Black Panthers Collective, to keep the peace in the street. It was a New York and New Jersey thing.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. It was an article and stuff like that.
Right.
On it. So I did that. And so I was really caught up with all of this stuff on my plate. Yeah. So I never got into Bomba until I met Juan.
Yeah.
But I was still going to college
right.
while I was playing Bomba and everything, and I had my organization. So I'm a man that multitasks a whole lot, man.
Right.
So, but if I had the time that it was just work, family, and practice, I would have been much better and everything.
Sure, no, but you definitely honed it down, and and you wow. So you dealt with basically like everything that involves with your community, your culture,
always,
and that's been your lifelong passion for the most part, right? It's just
the first time I ever got involved with any community involvement was in the 70s. I remember it was the 73rd precinct.
Yeah.
And so what happened was the cops ran after this teenage kid. And he had a flashlight. He went into the basement, and the police officers just shot him and killed him. And so the whole neighborhood and our organization, so I belong to the Puerto Rican Henchmen, but we were affiliation. We wasn't a full-blown gang or anything like that.
Right.
Not like the Young Barons, the Tomahawks or anything like that.
Right.
So we went and we marched to the precinct, in protest of, police brutality because what happened. And bro, ¿qué fue eso? I think I was 13 or 14 at that time.
Yeah.
But the police came out with riot gears. They banged us up, man.
Really?
Forget it. And so I always had that fire in me, because of that experience.
Right.
So then bring it forward, I became president of my organization. Then I got introduced to Louie Perez, one of the OGs in Panama, the Young Lords.
Yeah.
And they became like my mentor. And I also worked with them with police brutality and all of that stuff.
Right.
And always, every time I did my protesting, it was always Bomba.
Right.
Why I love Bomba is because of music of resistance.
Right.
Right. It's sort of like to fight the establishment. And I always been a rebel all my life.
Yeah.
What better music?
Yeah.
This and hip hop,
Yeah, no, that's cool that you mentioned that, man, because Bomba, from its inception in Puerto Rico, would be utilized for the enslaved to conspire to try to create rebellions.
Yeah.
That's documented. You know, that's what was happening, man. These people were gathering together because it was a moment when they were given this opportunity to dance and drum, and they would utilize it to try to break free.
Yeah, I read that in the book, The Slave Revolt of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
They talk about it. Every time they got together to play Bomba, it was to conspire, to revolt, to escape, to burn down the sugar canes, to escape. Yeah.
And there was a lot of slave rebellions in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, there was, but there was always a sellout.
Yeah, there was always a sellout. Yeah.
Man, that book bummed me out because they're like, they got it going, they got it good, and boom, there's always a sellout, man.
The sellout's one that ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, man. Eso no cambia, man.
No cambia, yeah. That's how it happens.
And we got a few now, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Freaking, anyway, I'm not gonna bring the present politics, but
yeah. No, that's cool. Listen, man, this is an open forum. Whatever you want to talk about, it's a lot of stuff going on now. With Bad Bunny and all these artists, right, that are talking about the conditions in Puerto Rico, and a lot of the Puerto Rico, man, it deals with a lot of things, man, that really like holds it back, from prospering, right? So it's something that's gaining a lot of attention nowadays, and I know you've been to the island on a few occasions, right?
Yeah.
With a collective, and you guys are trying to bring awareness also, right? As far as like the situation, it's the oldest colony in the world.
That's right.
Right, Puerto Rico, man.
And the United Nations, there's international law that there should be no colony. But
right.
Puerto Rico remains a colony.
Remains a colony, yeah.
So, people like, Puerto Rico, but this is not good. Things are going bad. Under what flag we under?
Right.
That it's going bad.
Right.
Can't blame it on the Puerto Rican people,
Right.
You got to go, who sets the policies, the laws,
Right.
Right.
Who sets the agenda, basically.
Yeah,
Right.
And so we're sick and tired of it. The good thing now about the young people, because the change always comes with the young,
Right.
Social media helps, People are being more informed. They're getting educated, like for the first time, the independence movement, they came in second.
Sure.
And then some people, you could debate or whatever, but there were people kicked off the voting rolls, stuff like that.
Sure.
A lot of the young people,
Yeah.
And so, but, there will be change coming in. And también you gotta, and the young people are tired. They're tired of the corrupt politicians.
The corrupt politicians, man. That stuff's really been done a lot of damage, and also in the past, man. The United States implemented measures to stamp down the independence movement for a very long time.
Yeah, the FBI, man.
I know one of Unico's uncles. He pulled up the FBI files. He used to be monitored, because Unico comes from a really strong nationalist.
Yeah, nationalistas,
background,
yeah. I know, I heard, yeah.
So yeah, FBI kept tabs, man. They kept tabs on a lot of those movements, those people, you know. And Luis Muñoz Marin, I think originally was like for independence.
When his father
right. was. I think he was initially, but then he kind of like he changed, I guess to kind of like compromise,
FBI had a lot of shit on him. He was an alcoholic, womanizer, heroin user too.
Sure, you know? Man. So there's a lot of struggles that Puerto Ricans have gone through ever since, man, for a very long time, right? Since Columbus got there, man, and started raping and pillaging, right? Yeah. But we've been through a lot, as a people. And we're one thing that a lot of I think outsiders, when they look at Puerto Ricans, they see that we're very resilient. And that I agree with. Puerto Ricans are very resilient, man, and very strong people with a very strong pride, and we excel, Puerto Ricans in general, man, excel in the arts, entertainment, and then also other areas, man, in engineering, sciences, and medicine. A lot of other areas, man, they've excelled at.
Matter of fact, they say one of the highest percentage of engineers come from Puerto Rico.
Right.
But there's a brain drain. They leave, for better doctors, jobs.
Yeah, all the doctors are leaving. And now Puerto Rico ranks as one of the top places for low birth rate, right? So they don't have enough young people there to replace the old people. And it's really bad.
Right. So the healthcare system is being challenged,
a lot of those things are really bad, man. So it looks pretty when you go there, there's a lot of things to do. It's a fun place. It's great food, restaurants, and tourists. There's all types of stuff, stuff to do there from a tourism perspective, man. It's beautiful. But at the end of the day, man, the people that live there, they going through it,
Yeah, I mean, you're getting all these tax breaks. You got the Law 60
for the rich people.
For the rich people,
right?
They come in there. They don't pay taxes like they should.
Yeah, they don't pay tax on capital gains.
But they use our roads, our beaches. The public roads, public beaches, and the corporations come in. They hardly pay nothing, maybe 1%, something like that. So ever since America been the corporation, American corporation, from Sugar Domino and all of them, whatever corporation, the pharmaceuticals, whatever.
Sure.
They came in, they make money. Money never stays in Puerto Rico. It always leaves. And there's never a tax base. So, the progresa, the so-called the better roads or bridges. I mean, look at the electrical,
Yeah, the Luma situation is terrible.
It's crazy, man. So, you look at all of this and you say, where's the progress?
Right.
Because the money is not, the resources there is not there because it leaves the island, It don't stays in the island, And then the wages, people like, the Puerto Ricans don't want to. A lot of Puerto Ricans get educated, and then those who work service area jobs, they don't make a lot, right? Right. So what happened? To keep the people, passive, so you pump in, los cupones, and welfare and everything. So if I go to work in Walgreens or a shopping mall, right? One of those, or restaurant.
Right.
I got 2 kids and a wife. Am I only making like $7, $6? I can't afford health care for them. So I'm going to quit my job and take food stamps. I go to public, sector.
You're in a tough situation.
Go with fair, stuff like that.
Right.
So, but it's real complicated there. But a lot of times, those on top, they're trying to manipulate the people at the bottom to see that it's their fault. And it's not, man. You got to look at how the economic structure of that is. That the people that gains are the corporation and the elites and the rich that come there, the Bitcoin bros and all of that shit. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, a lot of Puerto Ricans in the diaspora do go back and they do spend their money there, so that does help. Every time we go back, we spend money, we stay at hotels or whatever, right? And eat out in restaurants. You know, it helps. You know,
yeah, by going to the local businesses and restaurants,
definitely,
it does, man.
Definitely.
It really does. And not only that, you have quite a few Puerto Ricans. I have already like 3 friends that went back to Puerto Rico, bought houses. They retired and they went back over there. You know.
Yeah.
So,
but
no es fácil,
no es fácil, man. But yo, man, I mean, this has been a great conversation, man. I love that you came. You know what I'm saying? Honored that you're here. You know, I definitely want to continue, you know, maybe in the future have you again and you know, and talk about whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be politics, whether it be, you know, the streets or the culture, the bomba, the play, music.
Anytime, man. This is an honor and pleasure, not a pleasure, a privilege for me to be here to speak my story for other people, you know, if I can motivate and other people's, hey, yo, man, don't give up, man. Let me tell you, the drum is actually who gave me my identity. I learned, once I picked up the bomba drum, I started understanding my culture, my history, and everything. There's something about bomberos, musicians, that when you start playing, you become a better drummer when you know the history of the drum. And you know the history of the drum, you know the history of the people. So I started like, wow, Taino, Africano, from what? Ashanti, you know, from Congo, Yoruba, you know, Igbo, and all, Fong, and all. Wow. I said, that's all me, you know?
Oh, and before we end, I wanted to mention, man, that those jam sessions used to have back in the day in Jersey City.
Oh, yeah.
Those are historic, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I be talking to Papa all the time about those, man, and we always like, man, I wonder if anybody has recordings of any of those. You know what I'm saying? So we got to ask Louie, you know, if anybody ever recorded, because those jam sessions, man, we used to have in the garage, also in the basement too, right?
Yeah. I mean, yo, listen, everybody went through there, you know, Huerto, Tito, Alex, Juango,
Alex.
Everybody.
Right.
And we had it from my house, then I did my garage.
And
then we also used to have in that motorcycle club on Palisade Avenue. In the Heights, you know?
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that's my other contribution that I used to have.
You provided that space, man.
Yeah, in New Jersey, right? Juan had his institution, you could say, with Segunda Quimbamba teach. Right. But I brought people together.
But Juan was like in downtown Jersey City, right?
Yeah.
But we had a moment in the Heights where like you was there in the Heights. I was also living in the Heights.
Yeah.
We had Andy, we had Pancho. Unico used to roll through,
That's right.
Like we, you know, and then we had Dory's right there in Union City, which was like close by.
Yeah, we all used to get together.
So it was like a nice, like it's crazy, man. Because now when I think about it, like how I was like, man, we had a really dope scene happening, man.
And it was consistent. Right?
Yeah.
It was not like once a year or nothing, man. No. It was like maybe once a week, 3 times a month, you know. Or 3 Kings. I used to do 3 Kings, you know, all of that. I loved it. Also, I used to do the rumba and everything because I like rumba too. I remember Gene Golden coming to the social club and everything, and some of the Cubans, you know, para tocar rumba. And then from there, we went to Bomba. Then we go to Plena. I mean, we did it all, man.
We did it all, man. That was some good times, man.
Yeah, man. Don't see it no more, man.
Right.
I hope, you know.
Gotta bring it back.
I gotta go and buy another house in Jersey City.
Man. Gotta go back to Jersey City, man.
Because where I'm at, I don't know. Man.
I know, right. I hear you, man. Well, cool, man. Thank you for coming through, man.
Nah, man. My pleasure.
Yeah, you like a brother, man.
No, man. Forget it, man. This is another thing, man. Because of Bomba, I met you. Consider you, your wife, and your kids like family.
Right.
Papo, you know, Juan Helena, Dr. Drum. These are all people that are close to me. And I met through here, you know.
Juan Helena's always telling me, yo, I got into Bomba because of Louie. Louie exposed me to it. So you helped bring in other people.
Dr. Drum.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
But I got to give a shout out to Alex, man, because he's the one that brought up my game, you know, and playing Bomba.
Alex Lasalle.
Man. I was a rookie, man.
I gotta get him to answer my phone calls, man.
I know. He's
like, yo, man, I'm calling you, man. Call me back. But because I'm not Mario, man. Yo, that group that you was in, man. That was, to me, I consider that like one of the top
in New York.
Top of the tier, man. That's like creme de la creme right there, man. Bomba. Like, man, that shit they was, you know,
I
they
was
still
proud.
doing it, but they,
Yeah.
but that, you know, that group right there, man, holding it down, man. They
Forget
really,
it. The ladies, the guys.
Oh, man.
I was the only rookie there, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
I played choir for a year. I was happy, man. That
Yeah.
was it, man. But I was a choir master. I was doing it, and I
but
was
they got
blessed.
that, but you got to sit on the body one time and
no.
Hostos.
Yeah. No, I sat on the body, you know.
Doing that con me de Cataño.
Yeah.
You know, so
learn all those rhythms, man.
Yeah, man, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
so,
we played a lot, man. We traveled.
Yeah.
I never traveled so much in my life.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, oh, and I also want to mention, man, that you one of the dopest bomba dancers, bro. That I've. No, I swear, because you have a unique style that's unique to you, and the way you incorporate like that up rock with the bomba. But you do it like, because there's people sometimes they try to do like breaking, but they do it too much, right? And it's like, it don't really, you know, okay, it's cool, but you do it like, you give like a little bit of that hint, you know what I'm saying? And you throw in the bomba moves in there.
Yeah.
So I really like your style, you know what I'm saying? You've always done it really tastefully, you know what I'm saying?
it's my New York, you know, experience, Nuyorican experience, you know?
No, that's
I keep
dope,
tradition, but I also put myself in there, you know?
And you respect
Identity.
the tradition. You respect the tradition of bomba dancing, but you throw in your little bit of Nuyorican history and culture in there. Yeah. And I got to give you your props, man.
Thank you, man.
All right,
Appreciate that, man.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was good money.